My name is Leo. I'm 31. For 2 years, I built a life with Mira, a wildfire documentary filmmaker whose films went viral for their raw, authentic storytelling. I was a senior civil engineer, designing resilient water systems for drought-prone communities in Sonoma County, California. She brought fire. I brought structure. She chased truth in chaos. I built infrastructure that lasted. We were opposites, but it worked. Or so I thought. We just started touring cabins near Bodega Bay, talking about which room would be her editing suite, which porch would hold our morning coffee. It felt real, solid, like we were finally writing the next chapter together. Then Qley came back. Her ex, a freelance conflict photographer, just returned from covering floods in Bangladesh. He messaged her about a collaborative climate doc series. She said it was just professional. I said, cool. That was my first mistake, trusting her words more than the silence that followed. Within weeks, she stopped asking about my work. No more questions about the aquifer recharge project I'd spent months designing. No more late-night talks about sustainable futures. Just her laptop, her phone, lighting up with Qley's name and a growing distance between us that felt like a canyon. One night, over takeout, her phone buzzed. New drone footage, mind-blowing. I said, "Glad you're inspired." She snapped, "You don't have to sound like my dad, Leo." That's when I knew. She was already gone. 2 weeks later, she sat me down. "I think we should just be friends," she said. "You deserve someone who's as sure about this as you are." I nodded. "Okay." She looked stunned. "That's it?" "Yeah," I said. "You already left. I'm just catching up." I walked to the key rack, took her key off my ring, set it on the table, grabbed my jacket, and left. No drama, no begging, just dignity. She moved out 3 days later, left a note, "Sorry," and that was that. For weeks, I waited for a text, a call, a sign she'd realized her mistake. Nothing. Just silence, and her Instagram post with Qley, chasing truth, building something real. Authenticity can't be rushed. I stopped checking, stopped caring. Then, my firm offered me a 6-month assignment in the Sierra Nevada foothills, designing off-grid water filtration for remote mountain towns. Normally, I'd have said no, but with Mira gone, what was keeping me in Sonoma? I drove east in March. Snow still dusted the pines. The air was sharp, quiet, like my mind finally had space to breathe. The work was physical, honest, fixing broken wells, installing solar-powered pumps, talking to ranchers who had lived off-grid for generations. No performative passion, just purpose. 2 months in, I started working with Jules Rivera, an environmental compliance officer. Sharp, dry-witted, with a laugh that only showed in her eyes. She never asked about Mira, but one night by a campfire, sipping cheap bourbon, she said, "People leave when they realize you're not a side character in their story. You're the main character in your own." It hit me like a lightning strike. Meanwhile, Mira's dream project started unraveling. Sponsors pulled out. Qley ghosted her for a producer in Portland. Her Instagram shifted from visionary to defensive. Capitalism punishes truth tellers. Comments replied, "Or maybe your story just doesn't hold together." At the same time, our water project went live. Clean, reliable water for a town that had relied on trucked-in tanks for years. Local news covered it, then state agencies, then a national sustainability award. I was named lead on a statewide expansion. Jules slid her laptop toward me one evening. "You built something that will outlast all of us," she said. "That matters." We started dating a week later, caught in a sudden mountain storm, waiting it out in my truck, rain drumming on the roof. She turned to me and said, "This stopped being just professional." I kissed her. No fanfare, just certainty. We didn't post about it, didn't announce it. It was ours. Then, 3 months ago, Mira showed up at my field office. Dinner, tired, still magnetic, but the light behind her eyes was dim. "I'm filming a doc on rural resilience," she said. "Heard about your project? Thought it'd be a great story." But she hadn't contacted PR, hadn't gone through channels. She'd come to see me. We met for coffee. She broke down. "Kai left. The project's dead. I lost everything." She looked at me, tears falling. "I thought you'd wait. I thought you'd fight for me." "I did fight," I said quietly. "I fought to respect myself enough not to beg someone to stay who'd already chosen to leave." She asked if I was seeing someone. "Yes." "Is this serious?" "Yeah, it is." She whispered, "I deserve that." We said goodbye in the parking lot. She drove off. I called Jules. She just said, "Come home. I'm making stew." That night, Jules told me Mira has shown up at our cabin, sitting in her car like a ghost. Jules invited her in, made coffee, listened as Mira said, "You two actually see each other. Eli used to look at me like I was magic, but magic doesn't build anything that lasts." Jules replied, "No, magic burns out. What we have is real." Mira left the next day. I blocked her, not out of anger, but peace. Last week, Jules posted a photo of me at dawn, fixing a sensor on a ridge, fog rolling in over the valley, golden light on my face. Caption: "Patience is a form of faith." Hours later, Mira liked the post, then unliked it. A day after that, her entire Instagram vanished. Not deactivated, deleted. She couldn't watch the life I'd built without her, and that's okay. Because I'm not building for her anymore. I'm building with Jules, in a cabin near the redwoods where the only sound at night is the wind and the steady hum of systems at work. Mira chased storms thinking they were passion, but real love is the quiet thing that keeps running when the chaos ends.